I know that you visited some call centers while researching this role. What was your first impression when you saw a call center?
That it was much bigger than I thought. And I kind of thought it would be like in the ground in a bunker somewhere, very top secret, like in the dark. But it wasn't, and it was very big, and it had big screen TVs, and there was a lot of people talking and buzzing around, and that it was very active. And I don't think I quite pictured it that way.
Did you get to listen in on many calls while you were there?
Yeah. Live calls, I watched different callers take calls and see how the different ones handled it. I listened to hours and hours of taped calls. And
Any stories, real stories that stand out in your mind in that experience?
Yeah, well, there was one that really stayed with me. I listened to an operator listen to a woman be raped. And she could not hang up because the police hadn't gotten there yet, and she had to listen to that happening. And that is something that I think will never leave me, listening to a woman be raped.
What was the feeling you had inside?
Just horror.
This was such an intense film from start to finish. What was it like on set in such an intense drama?
Intense, because Brad is an intense director. And because we shot it at such a fast pace, that kept the intensity up. We knew, okay, you've got 1 or 2 takes and you better nail it. You know, go big or go home, because we don't have a lot of time. It wasn't a huge budget movie, so, you know, we had to do things pretty quickly. And ultimately, though, I think that serviced the tension that hopefully you see in the movie, because we were working at like a rapid pace.
You're co-stars with Halle, but you really don't you're co-stars, but you're really not on screen a lot together.
Yes.
So tell me how the filming took place. Were you actually on a cell phone talking to Halle in the trunk?
I had an earwig, and then she would talk to me through a microphone in another room. And so she'd talk to me, and I'd be able to hear her. And then when she was doing her scenes, I was able to talk to her through the microphone, and she had an earwig. So it was great because we actually got to play off of each other. So that worked out pretty well.
What was it like filming this movie in a trunk, a real trunk?
Terrifying. Pretty scary. It's obviously something that is petrifying, and nobody should ever be in a trunk. So, they're not made for humans to be in, so they're uncomfortable. So, it was pretty hard.
Abigail, at 15 or 16, quite the resume already.
Yeah.
How did she do in the movie?
Well, fantastic.
What's she like working with?
You know, she is a consummate professional, and sometimes young actresses aren't always that way. You know, we know the ones that are kind of living on another planet, and she's very grounded and very centered, and she was raised well, and she's about the work, and I really admire her and respect her for that.
What is it like for a teenager, well established as an actress already, but what's it like at your age to work with Halle Berry?
It's pretty crazy. I mean, she's, obviously such an amazing actress, but then to work with her and actually see her on set and how, professional she is and how sweet she is, and she's just an incredible woman. So to be able to work with her was amazing.
Working with Halle? Yeah. Working with Halle, I never met her before. I'd seen her, obviously I've been a huge fan of hers. And she, the first day we met, we really only worked together like 2 days, and all the rest, we were apart. But the first day I met her, she was just so, you never know what to expect. I've worked with people who are just starting out that think that they've arrived, and I've worked with people who have arrived and they want to let everybody know that they've arrived. So you never know what to expect. And when I met Halle, she was just the sweetest, most genuine, one of the most genuine people that I've ever met. And that kind of set the tone for our characters throughout the whole movie. It was great. It was a great experience.
Could you relate to your character at all personally?
Well, in the sense that, I've never been in a situation like that, and it's something that's really unimaginable. So you try and do your best to play it as you would think that a person would if they were in that situation, but it's so hard to actually know. I listen to a lot of 911 calls to kind of get a feel for how the panic was, but I could just thinking about calling your mom and trying to leave messages for your family and everything. That's something that I would be so upset doing.
What kind of research did you do to play a cop?
The one thing we did ride-alongs. Myself and David Otunga, who's a wrestler. We did a ride-along with LAPD officers, and that was very eye-opening because being inside the police car and driving through the neighborhoods and seeing how people look at you. Some people respond favorably and they're happy to see you, and some people just aren't. And you really never know what you're walking into, what type of person you're coming across.